children's swap on there too.
We are live and in color.
I asked Joyce to set it up still says the 18th, but we're streaming.
All right. Are we all set?
We are.
Yes, okay. All right, it is 6:02 p.m. and welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting. It's September 20th, 2021. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so at this moment, we'll take any public comments. Please just state your name for the...
I'm Virginia Long with the Milton Conservation Commission, and we would like to invite all residents of Milton and friends to a celebration of Casey Road Conservation Land on Saturday, October 9. We have lots of people to thank. So many people from the town have helped us out. We'll have refreshments, we'll have a ribbon cutting, a new sign unveiling, and guided walks along the trails, which are quite beautiful. So we hope lots of people will come. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? All right. We'll move on to announcements and community calendar. The first item is book and puzzle sale announcement.
I thought it was one of those.
Nope, this is fall concert and harvest supper. Hang on, I'll just pull up from the previous meeting. It's all right.
Also may have been scanned in your.
Oh, okay.
In
I
the
forget that
current
sometimes. I'm sorry. Let me, yeah. Forget that it's there in the supporting documents. Yes. Is that the one at the Congregational Church? Because it looks like the top is just cut off, so it's kind of hard to
I
read.
think that's the one.
Okay, so this is book and puzzle sale, and I'm looking at it sideways. Looks like every Saturday
in September.
September, thank you, from 8 to 1 p.m. at the Union Congregational Church
Yep.
on Main Street, Union. Parking behind the church, and there will be coffee, soft drinks, and snacks. For more information, you can call Betty. And I don't know if I want to put that number out, but try and read that sideways, sorry.
Or they can ask us.
Or they can call Chris with more details. And then we have Victor's Reading Nook on Saturday, October 2nd.
New library.
Yes, this is being held at Newt Library on October 2nd from 2 to 4 p.m. And we also have you know what else is not here, which was mentioned, and I'll just address that, is there's a children's clothing swap at the Milton Library in Milton Mills on September 25th with a rain date of October 2nd from 10 to 1. And we also have a fall concert on October 2nd at the Union Congregational Church on Main Street. Variety of musical performances, free will donation. This is to benefit the Women's Fellowship Missions, refreshments to follow. And this is across from at Hotchkiss Commons, right across from the church. Again, contact Betty or Chris for that. And then we have the Harvest Supper on October 14th at the Hotchkiss Commons. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, I think you are.
On Main Street in Union, across from the church. Adults $15, children $5, buffet style. Tickets available at 4:30. No reservations. To-go containers are available, and this is to also benefit the Women's Fellowship missions. Contact Janet. So you can also let Chris know if you need that information. Okay, new business. Any department head reports?
Just an email reminder, I'll read the ones I've got. From the town clerk. She highly encourages the boards and committees to remember to submit their minutes to the office for public inspection and to make sure that any resignations or appointments are submitted for town records. A lot of that has to do with the various committees. If you do approve minutes by RSA, she's supposed to keep track of them and scan them, etc. Motor vehicles revenue has risen 22% over August of 19 and is 15% lower over August of 2020. We have seen a significant increase in vital records requests this month, as well as marriage licenses. To date, the office has sold 194 beach passes, 10 boat passes, 1,533 transfer station decals, and as of September 16th, they've issued 1,005 dog licenses with the remaining 347 unlicensed dogs out there. The tax collector report. First installment of the 2021 property and sewer taxes were due Friday, July 2nd. As of September 16th, the outstanding 21 balance is $311,205, and on the sewer side, $9,483. So collections sound like they're staying high. The 2020 tax lien was executed on May 24th, 21. Lien holders for the tax lien were notified by certified mail on July 8th. And as of September 16th, the outstanding 2020 lien balance was $189,233. Impending tax deed notices for unpaid 2018 taxes were mailed to property owners and lien holders on July 4th by certified mail, and the deeding occurred on Friday, September 17th. At 9:30 a.m. The Board of Selectmen granted 7 waivers pursuant to State RSA 80:38I and or RSA 80:38 Roman numeral 2, and 6 properties were tax deeded. Respectfully submitted, Michelle Beauchamp. And I have one from the land use assistant. During the month of August, the Planning and Land Use Department has steadily been completing its day-to-day required tasks. Those included preparing agendas and minutes for the Conservation Commission, Planning Board, and ZBA, posting the Conservation, Planning Board, and ZBA meeting minutes and agendas, preparing packets for the Planning Board and ZBA meetings, reviewing applications for land use boards, fielding questions about properties and lot lines, including phone calls and those coming in person. Updating town files, preparing and documenting files in GIS, and working with the developers to find historic files and CIP committee document management. The primary focus of the last month is grant management for the American Rescue Plan, site plan and subdivision applications for the Planning Board and Zoning Board of Adjustment applications. During the month of August, the Planning Board, with the help of Bruce Woodruff, our town planner, will meet to discuss development plans on Northeast Pond. In preparation of these meetings, we have met with the applicant multiple times to ensure the applications are submitted in full to the town hall. If you're interested in attending the meeting, it will be held on the 21st of this month, tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. And it will also be live streamed on the town's YouTube page. Building report. The month of September has continued the steady stream of business for the code enforcement officer. Up to date, the building department has brought in an estimated $44,871 in permit fees, and anticipate this number to continue to rise into the next month. This is the largest revenue that the building department has seen, and we believe that this record income stems from an increase in the permit fees along with the rapid housing market. If you have any questions about permits or fee amounts, please contact the building department at 652-4501 extension 7. Those are the 2 departmental updates I did receive.
Okay. Did you have anything that you wanted to share?
My guys have been doing a lot of ditching lately, with the heavy rains, we've had to clean a lot of ditches. That should be pretty much done tomorrow. Newts Road, both sides of Newts Road, all the way to the farm have been done, which is a major problem when we get heavy rain. Also, we've been trying to keep up with the beaver problem this year. We've had, several culverts plugged with beavers, and I'm happy to report that at least 6 beavers no longer live in the township of Milton. So, and other than that, we have been doing some mowing. Most of the town has been mowed, except a few roads in Milton Mills, Matt's being one. That will be done the next couple of weeks. Other than that, we're going to be doing some grading on some of these roads
Okay.
with the 2 people I have in highway.
Okay.
How many do you have now?
Actually 4.
Thank you. Did Amy get Butch's name for Highway Department? Okay, just want to make sure.
She finally knows who that is.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, well, thank you. All right, and that is it for our department head.
That's all I got this month.
Okay. So the next item under new business is resignation of Cynthia Wyatt from the Conservation Commission.
I received this one electronically. On August 31st, the town received a written resignation from Cynthia Wyatt from her position with the Conservation Commission. In the past year, Cynthia has been spending time with her family in Connecticut. Sorry, my daughters. She is needed there for an extended period of time. Cynthia has been with the Conservation Commission for 22 years, having first been appointed in May of 1999. Through her efforts and with the support of the Carl Seaman Family Charitable Trust, a large portion of the land in Milton and Milton Mills has been placed in conservation. Cynthia and her family have made an invaluable contribution to Milton that will certainly last forever. And there's a suggested motion.
Okay, Board of Selectmen regretfully accepts the resignation of Cynthia Wyatt from the Conservation Commission.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Not that I want to,
Right.
but I will. And I will just add, as, I've worked with Cynthia for, the past 7 years. She's been a huge asset to this town, and she's given so much, and she's gonna be greatly missed. But we're still happy to have her around, in town, so, but, I wish my best to her. Did you wanna say anything, Virginia? Cause I know you work closely with her. If you don't mind, Ms. Chair.
Oh, no, not
Okay.
at all.
I didn't prepare any remarks, but the Conservation Commission is very grateful for her leadership for many years, and we're sad to see her go. We're really happy that she will be at the celebration on October 9 with us, so if you want to see her then and say thank you, that would be a good time. And the Conservation Commission elected me chair since I was the only one willing to serve.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item is resignation of Kathy Wallingford as assessing clerk.
I'll read this into the record, Madam Chair. Dear Board of Selectmen, I am submitting my formal letter of retirement, which was discussed several months ago, for Friday, September 17th, will be my final day. It has been a pleasure to work for the town of Milton, and I appreciate the support the board and my coworkers have shown me over the last 14 years. I will be available to help the new employee transition into the assessing department and finalize some of the payroll. If desired, I will work with the town administrator and fire departments, to schedule days and times. I would also like to request the board's consideration regarding my accumulated accruals. In the past 18 months has been a difficult time between COVID, quarantine, shutdowns, and staff shortage. It made it difficult for some employees to use their earned accruals. I would like to request your approval to receive all my accumulated accruals. Thank you. I appreciate your consideration regarding this matter. I look forward to retirement, but will miss working for the town and the many friendships with my coworkers.
Okay, do we need to make a motion on accepting that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
I mean,
so we'll make a motion to regretfully accept Kathy Wallingford's resignation and also note that approve her accumulated accruals for the past 18 months.
I second it.
All in favor? Aye.
And I will just add one thing, Ms. Chair. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to come Friday to her party, because, unfortunately I was at work. But I do want to let Kathy know, and I will talk to her, but just for the record, I mean, Kathy's been really the glue to this town hall. She's, through unfortunately losing all of our town administrators over the years, she had no problem with filling in
That's right.
and not even batting an eyelash. She just is a model employee, and she's going to be sorely missed. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So.
Yes, and I'd like to thank her
Yeah.
too for all her excellent work and just always willing to work with the public and her fill in where she could in the office. She's been a great resource and we're going to miss her. But I'm glad to know that she's going to be available to help in the transition.
She says she'll be in tomorrow.
Okay, great, because I missed her on Friday, so. All right, so next item is request for approval of additional funding by the Conservation Commission.
Did you want to speak to that, Chris?
Oh, it's yours.
Okay. Did you send out what I
I
sent you?
did, it's within the board's packets.
Okay, so, this is regarding the discussion of a month ago, where I asked if the, select board would approve this letter in support of the Sam Plummer Road Culvert Project for the ARM grant, the, grant for aquatic resource mitigation from the State Department of Environmental Services. And there was general approval of that letter, among you all. But I realized after talking to Chris afterwards that in order to be able to say in the grant that we had secured funding from the town, additional funding, which you all discussed as I asked for, it needed to be passed in a motion, which wasn't done at that meeting. And that motion needs to include a source of the funding. So I submitted a possible way you could make that motion if you want to use that language, or you're welcome to, or otherwise, however you want to say it. If you do pass this motion, then I've been told that it's not too late to change that check off on the grant from pending funding to secured funding, and I believe that would put us over the 30,000 of secured funding, because there's some from Trout Unlimited and some from, and I believe it includes in-kind also. No, it doesn't include in-kind. Well, anyway, I did add it up at one point, and that would give us extra points on the grant, and they score these grants by points. So the whole reason for my asking is to make it more likely that the town will get this grant, which is still very substantial benefit to the town to get this culvert done. And that's what Butch can tell you. And so that's why. And of course, if we don't get the grant, then the town doesn't spend the money and we don't get the culvert, because it's an expensive culvert. It would have to, at some point, some future year, Pat or Butch would figure out some other way, but this is the best way to do the culvert to benefit the natural systems, natural resources, as well as for town, keeping erosion down. It should not be a problem at all. So you have that in front of you, right, the wording I gave?
Yes, I do. However, at the bottom, it said to mention the funds that you had said. Is there something else that we should be motioning in there?
Right, so you need to discuss, is this going to come from, for example, federal relief funds, or is there some other source of funds just from the general town budget, or I don't know the answer to that. That was something for you, you had to fill in.
Okay.
In the motion. So it would need to be discussed first.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just talking to Chris, because we were talking about the you know, these funds that we got from the federal relief, and he did say that we could use those funds, because sometimes, you know, you can't
We
on
have
certain things.
the funds that Andy's referring to is known by acronym now as ARPA, ARPA. When we put down, or when we apply for it, we give them a host of projects, a range of projects that this thing could be used for. And everything from acquiring the Head Start building to a emergency generator out here. There was no limiting factor saying what you could or couldn't use it for. The only thing is, we do have to keep track of, there will be an accounting about 18 months from now, and they will ask, what did you use it for? And we have to show that we used it for reasonable things, reasonable government practices and activities, I guess you could say. I do believe that we had thought that there were going to be these kinds of projects that would be coming along.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure we actually included this particular one, but, and as you were aware, a couple weeks ago, we did get a check, $272,000, the remaining, and we're gonna get a total of 400 and, it's either 38 or 83. It's,
Okay.
so there will be sufficient funds.
Okay.
If
So
that's
it's
what you choose.
ARPA.
Yes, ARPA.
Did you want to make that motion, or good?
I'm sorry?
Did you want to make the motion?
Yeah, I can make the motion, and before we make the motion, I mean, I know Butch is here and he could talk about it, but I did see the culvert when the Trout Unlimited, we had that big meeting, and you know, they had the pictures of the culvert, and you know, it's just really, I mean, any time it could fail. So I mean,
It's
this.
the best long-term solution to a reoccurring problem.
Yeah, yeah, and so you know, this would be a win-win for the town, and you know, getting the culvert fixed and saving a ton of money, because you know, this could be a huge project for the town, just like Northeast Pond Road, when we, you know, something like that, and you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. So anyways, so I'll make a motion to commit to the additional $25,000 cash for the Sam Plumbers Road Culvert Project. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's what we need.
They require that we state which the funds will come from.
Okay, so I'll make that motion, and as significant funds are raised by the grants and other sources to complete the project as outlined in the Sam Plummer Culvert ARM Proposal 2021 grant application. These funds are to come from the ARPA Relief Fund.
Second?
It's fine.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, moving on to old business. So we have the fiscal year 2022 budget for review.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I just, as I may have mentioned to you earlier, I put this on the agenda and would continue to put it on the agenda, unless you tell me otherwise, to allow for the possibility for, you know, a more in-depth review of the budget that was presented to the joint group on Saturday. It doesn't require us to do anything at this time. It's just merely your opportunity.
Okay, so is the budget available for the selectmen to review on their own?
It is.
Okay, is that attached in here? I don't see it attached here, but it is
Oh,
available.
right, it is not attached there.
Okay.
It's,
But you'll make it available?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. I have extra paper copies over there because it's very, I find it tedious to look at something that, with that many numbers on screen, but I guess I'm old school that way. There are paper copies and I can
Okay.
re-release the budget that was presented on Saturday.
Okay, yep, so if the selectmen can review over the budget, and perhaps we can discuss that at our next meeting. Okay,
Yeah,
any?
it's gonna be tough. I mean, the budget's up.
Mhm.
It's up a lot. So,
It's not that bad.
well, it was up 10,000 last year. We had to find 10,000. It's up a lot more than 10 grand. So, I'm just saying, I mean, just, we gotta do our due diligence and make some educated decisions, I guess, because it's up.
Mhm.
So,
But in comparison to last year's default budget, it only differs by .02, which is a whopping, at this point, $4,000.
on a default budget though.
Right. So in other words, cut away as you want, but the default budget's still gonna stay where it's at. As a
Right.
matter of fact, in the meeting, the BudCom chair pointed out where I carried a $4,000 number, but in the default side, it should be 6,000. So I probably have presented a town budget that is, at this point, negative. Although I do caution, the big caveat is, I don't have the insurance rates from Primex for
Mhm.
next year. I don't have workers' comp, I don't have the health insurance rate, nor do I have, like the dental rate. So those things are still out there, and you're right, we may have to find, some cuts, but as it stands right now, it's tuned or paired very closely to the default line.
Okay.
I just didn't want to shock people that I'd come forward with something that was out of the ballpark.
Okay, any other business that may come before the board?
I did have one other item, Madam Chair, that I neglected to do. The board had asked me to come back with possible funding scenarios for the Dawson Street drainage project, so the full amount.
I got it written down here. I wasn't gonna let you escape
Oh, no, I knew you.
without.
So I found the money, I think. Let me put it this way, it's funding options. And I did receive late today a notice of award document that we should sign, awarding this project to Northeast Earth Mechanics. So, draw your attention to the top of this particular document. Does anybody else want a copy? What you want to? So the warrant article funding that was approved was $349,329, with about $129 being coming from unexpended fund balance. So I'm proposing that we also use $25,000 out of at the end of this year for a possible encumbrance, if you would agree, towards this project. Right now, as of the end of August, we've only 51% expended on our budget. There are a number of accounts that are not going to be spent. It's almost impossible to spend them at this point. I would also recommend an allocation, or at least a option be placed on 20,000 of the ARPA funds.
Mhm.
The fourth line is, there's $9,884 remaining in the 2018 fiscal year highway block grant that should be utilized. There is remaining in this year's road construction line, $95,062.07. And if that didn't do it, I'm also, because I'm anticipating this project will carry into the spring. I'll be amazed if they can get all the final paving done before the plant closes. 25,000 out of the fiscal year 22, what we typically appropriate for road construction funds. So that would bring the total amount of funding to 524,000. We need a total of 496.
Okay, so the proposed 2021, so you want to encumber 25,000. Where are you gonna? Where's the encumbrance? Where are you gonna take that from?
Okay. It is from.
And just for clarification, the reason for the increase is just due to the pricing of materials?
Pipe prices are way up, concrete prices are up, tied to fuel, tied to labor. The flaggers went from $50 an hour to almost $150 an hour. That's actually a great job apparently to have now, and pays really well. So, yeah, so
Yes,
that's
sir.
where it's coming from.
If we had a full house down at the DPW, that's possibly something that we could do in-house, but with only 2 guys, can't very well do that.
Well, I thought that maybe some of the flagging could get done, but, okay, I have it here, it's in the other room.
Plus, Matt wants to volunteer.
With all
So,
my spare time?
last year, the board encumbered, and the records are showing, you encumbered 40,000 to pay for assessing. So this year, we still have yet to touch the 40,000 that was raised by taxation in March. So that 40,000 lives in there. There is, under the contractual side, $96,000 left of the $146,000 contract side. And then as I go down through, there's a lot of 5s and 10s. For instance, there's $6,350 for a contract welfare person. We don't have a contract welfare person, nor are we contracting that out. Yours truly is doing that. So,
Yeah, but
in
I'd like-
searching for 25,000 and, yeah, there's gonna be,
okay. No, I was just asking.
yeah, no,
We-
and I think that's a very prudent question, and you don't wanna double spend or double commit, but there's funds in the budget that, are not,
And just so people know, the 115,000, that was through the gas tax. That's not coming. It's in the fund balance right now, but it's really
Right.
So I just want people to realize we're not just taking the 115,000 out of the fund balance.
correct.
That was monies from the gas tax. So that the highway normally gets it anyways.
Mhm.
That's part of their warrant article for road construction. So
Right.
just being transparent. That's all.
But we totally agree.
Okay.
No, I'm fine with this.
And some of those funding lines don't have to be acted on or the money moved around until in fact we really need it.
Right.
In other words, you could make, there's enough difference in there. You could decide to take more or less from the ARPA funds. You could encumber more. Those are just my estimates at this point in
Mhm.
time. But there's
Well-
definitely enough money, cash and grant funds to do, as Selectman Morrow wanted to do, the full job and not to cut anything back at this point.
Well, I think we were all on the same
Yes.
page.
Oh, you were. I
Yeah,
he
you
was-
made that commitment, we gotta,
He was most
make that work.
verbose about it.
yes.
So, all right, no, I'm fine with this. I mean, it's great that, we don't have to, we can get this done without asking the taxpayers.
When is the proposed date for starting the project, do you know?
It's based upon us signing this
Okay.
notice to proceed. With the notice of award, he could then hand this to his insurance company, get an insurance certificate, would start to order pipe, do those sort of things. It would also, it's the first step in actually getting the contract signed. So, you sign it, he signs it, returns back to us, and then, that starts the whole process, if you're happy with how it's gonna get funded.
Yeah. And
Where the blue X is for the chairman to sign.
all
There's
the
3 copies.
easements.
My understanding, 2 of the easements are signed and 2 of them are not.
Okay.
So somebody's gonna have to knock on some doors. Madam Chair, the reason why I'm asking is sign 3 is typically what happens is Northeast gets an original, we keep an original, and I believe I'm gonna send an original to the Underwood that way. We're covered. And also the state anyway will want one.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get to see that started before the snow flies, hopefully.
Yes.
Like like it to be done.
That's all I had on my
Yeah.
other business.
Exactly. All right.
Do you need a motion for any of this?
Well, you made a motion, I believe, to let the project go, to
Mhm.
award the project in full. But if you wanna, make a quick motion to authorize the chair to sign the notice of award document with, as I've so stated, then that would probably put it to
Okay.
bed.
Motion so stated.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Just in case they need the copy of the minutes.
Yeah, in case. Always good to do it. forward.
Okay, so next item, approval of minutes
Yes.
from September 13th. We have non-public first.
Just one set.
I'll make a motion to accept the non-public as written.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
There's actually 3 different sets. There's 3 different
Yeah.
Things were discussed.
Yeah. Okay, next item is public minutes of September 13th, 2021. Has the board had a chance to review?
Yep.
Motion to accept as written.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And then the next item under public minutes is September 18th, 2021.
Those are not,
No? That would have been Saturdays,
Yeah.
right? No.
There's still
not
about 5 more
finished yet.
pages.
I
Sorry.
probably was overly optimistic about
Just,
that.
okay, no worries.
Not for you. I just put these things down so I don't forget them and then, yeah.
Okay, no worries. All right, any public comments pertaining to the topics discussed today?
We gonna talk about this or no? Or is this just?
I'm gonna do that under my.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Let me just double check.
Oh, I see,
please.
yeah.
Let's see.
Infinity lighting.
But you probably want a copy of
Maybe Lynette would like one. Oh, you got one.
California lighting.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
All right. We will move on to, it's my notes, here we go. Okay, so, next item is, expenditure report, just,
As I said, I did a summation of the expenditure report, was looking at it extensively today. The one that was released last week as of August 2021, you are 51% spent, which is excellent when you consider you're in the 8th month of the year. So, but we do, we do have some bigger months coming along with that involve snow, sand, and salt. So, and there's also a number of those end of the year things that haven't been. If I had had more time, I think what I'd like to do is almost take out those things like the insurance that will be paid out at the end of the year, things of that nature, and give the board a more realistic figure that excluding those things, in other words, that they're already committed, they're really, how do we really stand? And that I'll try and do for the next selectmen's meeting. Also give me and Brittany something to work on as a joint.
okay. Any other questions? All right, so the next item is town administrator.
So, to bring the board up to speed, all the 2020 fiscal information has been submitted. The MS1 was completed a week ago, and Kathy uploaded it to their site. The MS, I think it's a 535 document, which was a funding taxation document that was loaded up for previous week. DRA did respond back that it looked good and that they'd be in contact with us as to when they want to come down and set the tax rate. But good news is, from the town side, I don't believe we owe them anything. Also, we had reached out to the water precinct and they had submitted their stuff. Come to find out, we're not directly liable for it, but our tax rate can never be set if one of those precincts doesn't also submit their documents, but they did do that. The color brochure that I've got out before you is, I reached out to Affinity Lighting to see if they'd be interested in quoting us a cost to convert all of our town street lights and parking lot lights to LED fixtures. I did this in Hampton, and I was actually late to the game. Dover's done it, Somersworth's done it, Rochester's done it, and the Hampshire DOT has done it statewide. They've all used this particular contractor, and when, after they had completed Dover, Somersworth, Rochester, we hired them 18 months ago down in Hampton. They converted all of those. It dropped the electrical bill. Down there we were paying about $230,000 a year for lights. It literally went to, it's going to go in half, but Hampton had a significant buyout. You have to buy what's known as the stranded cost for those fixtures that you're asking, in this case Unitil, to throw away. We're dealing with Eversource. They've got a whole different buyout option. And what you see on page, 1, 2, 3, I guess it's the 5th page. So they're projecting this whole project to cost $38,858. They've already communicated and they worked with it. Eversource has said, great, we're glad you're doing it. We'll write off or send back to the town a check in the amount of $10,550, essentially rewarding us for paying to have these lights replaced. So that would leave our actual cost at $28,309. Now in savings alone, because there will be a huge reduction in our, the reduction is they're predicting 69.7% reduction in what we use in electricity. So that would drive our bill down. If you look at the savings that it would generate each month, we'd actually pay off our investment of $28,309 in just under 3.5 years.
Now, the 69.7% that they're projecting is gonna be, a reduction.
Yep.
Is that for all 107 current streetlights, or just the ones that we have on now? 'Cause, I mean, we don't run 107 current streetlights.
Well, the way that this process works is, so they had me ask Eversource for the town
Yeah.
to release what they call our ledger, which is their accounting of how many lights we have.
Yeah.
So Eversource says we have 107 current fixtures.
That are hanging, maybe, but there's no way there's 107 running.
Well, you think some are off?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay.
They turned them
Well-
off. How many years ago?
About 5.
I think the only major ones that are on are like at major intersections. I know there's one on
Yeah.
McKigney Road.
But they didn't take them down, or?
No.
Well, that'd be a
Still
good,
up.
They're still hanging, right?
Still
Yeah.
up. It's
they're still up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's well, I will get that, that's a good point, but I will get the clarification from this woman Cassidy, who's the interface affinity lighting with Eversource, because I presume that these 107 are actually the ones we're being charged for, i.e. they're lit.
It shouldn't. I can't imagine there's 107 streetlights running in the town of Milton.
There isn't. There's probably not even half that.
Okay, well, that's a good point, okay. So the question for you, and that, what that would do is just make the cost of doing the program even lower. Or, what you could do
Just do them all.
is do them all, because you're gonna be able to get them all on and lit for less money than you're currently paying them. So is this I guess what I'm asking the board, is this something you would like me to continue to pursue?
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it. I'm just curious, like, again, the same thing, as we've talked about this before, where's the money gonna come from to pay for this?
The
we
way I
gonna-
did it in Hampton was a one-time warrant article. I would say that when we can make this decision in December, if there's sufficient money in the unassigned fund balance, do it as a one-time warrant article, get it done, raise and appropriate the 38 or whatever the number's gonna be, recognizing that 10's gonna come back and take the difference from the unassigned fund balance. And then they would start the project in the spring, right, sometime after the vote, so that the latter half of next year, you'd see a market reduction in this particular expense.
Or we could see, wait till the end of the year and just see, we might be able to encumber a lot of this money, maybe just out of, we'll have to see first, but we could probably just encumber this money
And you're saying not take it to warrant
and
article?
not take it to warrant article.
That's one way too. Okay.
What was the estimated cost?
The estimated cost is $38,858, but $10,550 will be paid off, or a check will be given back to the
Oh, I
town
see.
by Eversource. So our only actual cost is $28,309.
Okay.
But there is a list of lights that were shut off.
Well, what happens if you're interested in doing this? They will actually put a team in the field at night and make sure that the ones that are on the ledger are in fact on the ledger. When we went through it in Hampton, I found 20 that I was paying for, the DOT was supposed to be paying for, right at the end of 101C. Okay? That whole string was supposed to have been paid by DOT. They were on the town's ledger. Inversely, though, we found 7 others the DOT was paying for that should have been the town's. We also found about 5 or 6 where people had called up and gotten streetlights put in at the end of their driveway, and they had been added to the town's ledger. And we've been paying those for years. And in one case, we found a person, they were paying, and we were paying for the same light. So this is not this ledger is not the final accounting. There is literally an boots on the ground survey to determine which ones of these to do and which ones not. The other thing that they actually also do is when they walk it, for instance, that big light on the corner would probably, is gonna get a totally different fixture than, let's say, the one over here in the corner of Dawson Street and 125. So, depending on what the intersection needs, the light output, I bet there'll be 5 different types of fixtures, I should say, that they will put on. But
I
all
know-
of them will use a lot less light.
I know Steve Panish, John Cadwick, they were they rode around, made the recommendation, and then that's when the lights were shut off. But you could always get a hold of either one of those two and
Okay.
ask them. Maybe they might have some information.
Well,
for
and then
you.
what'll happen is when they're going around, they'll know, okay, here's one that's on the ledger, but obviously isn't on, hasn't been working for a long time. So we're gonna be surprised by what we find out from this. Project.
I would personally say, yeah, start pursuing it. At least we'll find out which ones we're paying for that we probably don't need to pay for because it was supposed to have been off or whatever. Find out how many are actually on and whatever else. Is what I would say. Well, at least because that'll happen first, obviously.
Yeah.
And maybe some of them that we did shut off that we were just trying to save money, maybe if there is a concern or safety issue or something, if maybe we should maybe turn them back on.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna be able to save this type of revenue, maybe we can turn a few back on that we shut off.
Yep.
I remember when we were looking at this several years ago and to shutting off some of the lights. Some of these roads had 4 or 5 telephone poles in a row and a light on every pole. And you don't need that many.
Mm.
And there was, it was just, like Chris said, somebody called up and says, hey, I need a light out there. And they came and put it up.
Well, and also, the other thing that we realized that had happened in Hampton, so-and-so was having, let's say, triplets. And they wanted a light at the end so that made sure that the ambulance could find their driveway when it needed. Then the light never, ever came down. And that's, with every one of these that I found, before, there was a story behind each one. From all the selectmen committed to, I'd have one the rest of my life, to, this was the former chairman of the selectmen's house 20 years ago, and he got one, and
Hell, I want one at the end of my road.
Yeah. I know there's a bunch up on 125 going into Union. Is the state responsible for those, or are we paying for them?
they will determine that,
Yeah.
because you'd be surprised.
There's quite a few in a
Yeah.
row there too,
Yeah.
which doesn't need to be.
They'll be looking at those. Because I had 2 in Northampton that I was paying for, that was messed.
Yes, Lynette?
Thank you. I don't know if this has anything to do with it or anything, but can any of our solar money be put into this? Since they work with Eversource and stuff?
We could look at it.
Yeah.
Right now, the revenue just, per how it was approved, just comes in as a general revenue stream. But you're right. I think the other day when I looked at it, there's like an $11,000 base payment from Milton Solar LLC. My understanding just goes in as revenue, because it wasn't directed to any other special fund project or
Well,
whatever.
maybe this is something to direct it in.
Okay, so I will communicate to Affinity to proceed forward. It'll probably mean them coming forward with an actual contract, and then, but don't be surprised, the number's gonna change. And the other thing that you might wanna consider is, then what happens is, we're not in the business of being able to call up Eversource in the future and say, I need a new light at this corner. Because they'll say, we'll do the wiring, where's your fixture?
Yeah.
So we'll be having to end up buying 5, 6, 7, whatever, and putting them into storage. They're in a tub, and these are literally plug and play. Once they're wired in, they're,
Now, will these lights go into the existing fixtures on the pole?
yes, they
What
literally.
about the existing fixtures
They
we
take
have
the-
that are off? Can we utilize some of those somewhere else?
No, because they belong to Eversource.
Okay.
They're not ours. We pay a lease on them every single year. So So those Cobra heads, as they're commonly called, would go into a pile at Eversource. And what they end up putting, they use the same wiring, it's a quick connect plug that they now put on. And when this LED comes in, it literally snaps in. It takes longer to take the Cobra off than it does to put the new light on. They were doing 50 a day
Yeah, well,
when they did it.
I know for a fact we don't have 107.
Okay, well, that's good.
107.
In some respects, it's good. But I just looked at that line
lights.
and said, this is a project, it's
There's
a
no way.
no-brainer project. And
Wouldn't you? What? I mean,
There's
there's
a
no.
few, there's quite, if you add them all up, it could be close. She's got Milton Mills,
And West Milton, don't
Okay.
forget us up there.
West Milton.
We have lights, you know, we're not in the dark.
There's some here in West Milton,
So,
all right, I'll let them know.
Okay.
mostly at the intersections where you need them.
Okay.
Mhm.
My next item that I wanted to bring to the board's attention, I did send another letter certified to the owners of 79 Charles Street because they did not file for a building permit as based upon their agreement with the board. They were supposed to do that on September 2nd. They have not. I sent them a letter after the 2nd, had heard nothing, so I sent them a certified. And I have some thoughts of where this is going, but let's see if they respond to the certified. Because people may be asking, some interested parties, I was supposed to bid or sell off a surplus, the two pickup trucks and one car that is stored over at Highway. We don't have the title to one of those 3 vehicles. Michelle, 2 weeks ago, sent off for it, a new replacement title. When that comes in, I'll proceed forward with that particular, unless you want me to just sell off 1 truck and 1 car right now.
no, you can wait.
Okay.
For me, I don't know, but it's up to them too. But
Okay.
why go through all that and have to do it all over again?
Right. In August, I did, as Virginia requested or suggested to the board, I did put in a request to the state for the COVID-19 mobile van. They were all, as of prior to Labor Day weekend, they were all full. I requested a date some Friday in October. I've yet to hear back from them, but don't be surprised if could be tomorrow. Our next meeting is October 4th. My next item to remind you is we have been contacted by one of the property owners. We tax deeded on Friday last week. They'd like to set up a payment plan for the back taxes. I'm placing them on the October 4th meeting under non-public to sit and discuss with the board. They're talking about, they think they owe about $8,000. They'd like to pay $5,000 in cash and set up a payment plan for the remaining balance. I will be out of the office this Wednesday. I booked myself a month ago for a seminar. Sounded like a good date a month ago. And I will be attending the Budget Committee meeting on the 28th. Chairman Claudine Burnham is going to be out of the town, so I'll be covering for her. And that's all that I have.
Okay, thank you.
Enough, right?
All right, any selectmen comments?
No, other than, I mean, I don't know if we want to, I mean, Karen Brown, she's moving forward with some engineering at the, come on, Andy.
Town Beach.
Town Beach, thank you.
I know what you mean.
At the Town Beach, for our new boat ramp, so, she does have some engineering visits, up on the agenda, so that's exciting, so hopefully we can get moving forward with the new boat ramp, so.
Is there any update on the playground in Milton Mills? If she's
She is,
kind of spearheading?
she's moving forward with the grant for the playground, so we'll see what happens. But, I mean, it's well deserved up there. I think it'd be great for Milton Mills to have a nice playground for the kids, so.
And she did mention on Saturday that the federal grant has some restrictions.
Yeah.
So we may not be interested in that per se.
Or
So
some of the
perhaps
restrictions.
maybe another fundraiser and a public volunteer to do that. So it stays within the property of Milton.
What were some of the restrictions?
Well,
The land, it's, I believe the property itself becomes federal property. Is that
No,
right?
what they do
No.
is they.
Something like
well,
that?
if I could just interrupt for one
Yep.
sec, so, because I could save a lot of
Mhm.
Okay.
So she says, we have also been given the nod from New Hampshire LWCF to apply for the matching grant for a new playground in the Milton Mills behind the newer part of the Milton Mills Cemetery. I have attached the invite letter. I'm excited to start both of these projects. So she is moving forward with a grant.
Is this a recent email?
This is, yeah, today.
Oh, okay.
So she's moving forward with it, along with this engineering group from, let me see, from Aspen Environmental is going to come and talk to her about the boat ramp. So I just wanted to bring them up, just to let people know that we are moving forward with the boat ramp.
Oh, so
So-
we were talking about the playground.
Yeah, and the playground.
And the playground?
And the
Oh,
playground.
okay.
Yep.
Federal land?
I'm sorry?
Did you say it was federal land?
No, it's a federal grant for the playground. It's a matching grant. But, I mean, we don't even know if we're gonna get it, but it'd be nice, I mean, to have a nice playground in the mills.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yes.
Yep. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, we have to come up with a matching grant, the matching monies, but we can do some fundraisers and, I mean, maybe it could be an in-kind where we help build, the whole town help build or this playground, so there's different avenues, but she's working on both of them.
Okay,
So,
good. All right.
that's all.
Anything else to add?
Nope.
Alright.
Good.
All right, then. That concludes our meeting. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a non-public?
No, we do not.
Okay. All right. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can we get them to donate the land possibly? Can we do that?
Well, the town already owns the land.
Oh, they already own the land?
Yeah, it's behind
That's what
the-
I was trying to figure out.
It's,
Okay.
it's behind the new portion of the cemetery in Milton Mills as you're going into
In town?
the town of Milton Mills. It's
Oh.
on Appleby Road, but it's on the right hand side heading into Milton Mills.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Good night.
Yeah, good night, Amy.
And that the federal easement that they're talking about is, you literally designate where in this Appleby property you're gonna use the federal money, and then you can't use the property for, let's say, something that it wasn't designed for. For instance, a helicopter landing pad, I'll be, right off the wall. So, what they can, let me just stop this.